everyone, it's Tanny Games here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, I was set a challenge from Connor. I will leave a link to his channel down below, but he basically challenged me to do a video where I discuss my most wanted characters, biomes, things like that I would like to see come to Disney Dreamlight Valley. So I'm going to go through 3 of my most wanted characters, most wanted companions, and most wanted biomes, and I am actually going to challenge Hot Coco to do the same. So Hot Coco, let us know, who do you want to see in Dreamlight Valley? What kind of biomes do you want to see? What kind of companions do you want to see? Let me know. I would absolutely love to hear what you think, and obviously maybe we can get a bit of a chain going in the Dreamlight Valley community of wish lists of things that we want to see. I would absolutely adore that. So Hot Coco, if you want to, please join in on the fun. And as a bonus, I actually also want to tag Oscar's Cozy Corner. Oscar is my bestie. I can't ignore my bestie Oscar. So if you do want to also join in on the challenge, I would absolutely love to hear what you have to say, especially because I know you've got a lot of passion for park stuff. So maybe there's some parks related things that you want to see come to the game. I just want to hear your viewpoint, so feel free to do your video as well, because I would love to hear from you. In fact, I could tag every creator in this space if I'm honest, but I won't do that. I'll give the other creators a chance to tag other creators, you know, share the love from their videos. But thank you so much, Connor, for creating this little challenge, and I really hope that perhaps we can see more creators join on and share their wish lists for the future of Disney Dreamlight Valley. Now, firstly, I'm going to cover 3 of my most wanted characters, and the first one is going to be Prince Philip. Now, I do feel like all the princesses in game do need their princes, so we definitely need Naveen for Tiana and things like that. However, Aurora is my favorite princess and Prince Philip is my favorite prince, so it just makes sense for me to put Philip first as the prince that I would most like to see. I would absolutely love it if Philip and Aurora live together. Sadly, that's not going to happen given that Aurora is locked behind a DLC. So I think it is a bit of a shame, but I do hope that if we get Prince Philip in the game, fingers crossed he has some special interaction or quest with Aurora, because I think it's important that we reunite these 2 lovebirds. Now, my next wanted character is going to be Robin Hood. I absolutely adore Robin Hood. I love the whole legend surrounding Robin Hood. So ignoring Disney's version of Robin Hood, I have always been a big fan of Robin Hood, what the story and legend stands for and things like that. So naturally, having Robin Hood in the game I think would be fantastic. A man who stands up to injustice, who stands up for the poor. Something that I think we could use with in our modern day lives right now. We need a Robin Hood. So yeah, I love Robin Hood. I think getting those kind of English forest vibes would be so fun to add to the valley. We could get some archery things involved like we should have got with Merida. You know, there's so much that we could have come to the game with Robin Hood's edition, and I think he would just be such a fun character to include. Now, my next most wanted character is gonna be Eilonwy from the Black Cauldron. I love her. I personally think she's iconic. I just think her whole character, the sass that she has, is fantastic. You know, yeah, she might have some damsel in distress qualities, but she's very independent. She's very fiery. She's got so much spirit in her. She will really stand up and try and do stuff for herself. She ain't needing any kind of person to rescue her or things like that. She will try and fight her own way out, and I love that for her. I just think that is so fantastic in terms of her character, and I would love to have her in game. I think she's such a wonderful well-rounded character and would be a brilliant addition to the game. We are slowly running out of princess type characters, so we are going to have to lean in a bit more to those Disney heroines rather than the princesses, or at least the official princesses. So I think it would be fantastic to give her, or have her in the Valley, get some more Black Cauldron representation, because that is one of my favorite Disney films. So I would absolutely love to see her. Now, next I'm going to talk about companions, and I think I'm going to lean more into specific companions here. There definitely are types of companions I want to see. Like, I would really love to see frogs come to the game. I would love to see bats come to the game. I think they would be really fun to have. I would love some more farmyard type companions like sheep and pigs and things like that. I definitely think that could be a lot of fun. However, I want to go through actual specific Disney companions that I want to see. And I'm going to start off with Pascal. I adore Pascal. I think it's terrible that we have Rapunzel, we have Flynn, and we have no Pascal. Pascal is a companion that should have come in by now, especially since we've had like 2 character additions from the Tangled universe, and neither of them brought Pascal in, and I'm kind of a little bit gutted about it, because I think that would have been perfect timing. I feel like introducing Pascal, even as a premium shop companion, just kind of wouldn't have the kind of like the oomph and the drive behind it as if we received Pascal during an update where we got Flynn or Rapunzel, or a DLC, I should say. Like, I just feel that Pascal would have had a bit more of an impact in that sense, but I think a lot of people do want Pascal. I myself do. I don't mind companions being small, because a lot of the time when I'm using companions, it's mostly for posing in photos. So having like Pascal on the shoulder, perhaps even in your hair and things like that, I think would be fun for interesting poses and the like. So I would absolutely adore to see Pascal come to the game. And like I said, I've got no issues with like smaller companions and things like that, because truthfully, I just think, you know, it's mainly for the pose. I don't need to see Pascal necessarily running about the valley, though it would be cute to have him tied to Rapunzel. Imagine Rapunzel running around and she's got like a little Pascal on her shoulder. It would be very, very cute. So I would love that. So Pascal's definitely one of my most wanted companions. Now, as another most wanted companion, I cannot forget Raja. Who doesn't want a big, friendly, cuddly tiger in their valley? I just think it'd be so good to have Raja. I don't think Raja has enough of a character, or is enough of a character in the movie to warrant being a villager. Compared to Abu, which Abu really had kind of like main front running kind of like protagonist vibes. Like, obviously he wasn't the main protagonist. The main protagonist is like Aladdin and Jasmine, but like Abu was definitely up there in terms of he felt more like a friendly sidekick than just like a background character, whereas I do feel like Raja didn't get as much screen time. Raja doesn't have as much, like, Raja definitely has character, but I think Raja, like, if you compare Raja to Abu, I just feel like Abu's more well established and well rounded than what Raja is, in my opinion. So I think that's what makes Raja perfect as like a companion over a villager. And I just think it'd be so cute. Imagine Raja. I've seen people joke about being able to ride Raja, like comparing him to a mount, and I do think that would be quite fun and whimsical. Like, especially imagine if that was like a photo pose where we just like sat on Raja. I think it'd be kind of funny. But no, I just want a cuddly tiger. I want a cuddly tiger. I think that would be very, very cute. And then for my next companion, I would love to see Lucifer come to the game, especially in the next Cinderella update. I do understand if they want to hold Lucifer back for like perhaps when they add in the evil queen or something like that, or evil stepmother, I should say. So if they want to add Lucifer with the evil stepmother, I would totally understand. However, Lucifer's a cat. I need more cats in game. There's a dog invasion going on right now. And I need more cats. And I do want, like, I want the Aristocats in game, but I want them as villagers. I don't want them as companions. However, Lucifer is a bit like Raja for me. He just isn't really like a proper character kind of thing. He does fit more as like a companion sort. So I would love to see Lucifer. I think it'd be so fun to have a cat who's a bit more, maybe a bit more menacing, a bit more evil than Dinah and Figaro. I would just love that, because like we've already got Dinah and Figaro. We need more. I know we have the Witchy Kitty, but Witchy Kitty is like unbranded. Lucifer is like a specific themed cat, and I need more themed cats. You know, we've got Lucky. We do have Lady and the Tramp coming next year as well. So I need a few more cats, okay? I need a few more cats. Lastly, let's talk about my most wanted biomes. Now, thankfully, we are getting one of my most wanted in the form of Wish Blossom Ranch. I was desperate to get another snowy biome, and it does look like we are getting one with Wish Blossom Ranch. Admittedly, it's not fully snowy. There's only certain areas that are fully snowy. But we're getting something, which is at least, is one thing. We're basically there. So I am quite happy to get this snowy biome and aspect within Wish Blossom Ranch. However, there are still some more wanted biomes that I have. And the first is a city or town core biome. It would be so cool if we had a biome that had giant skyscrapers in the distance and things like that. Like, imagine that as like a viewpoint in your dream snaps, just seeing these buildings towering over. We are getting the inclusion of building kits in Wish Blossom Ranch, so I don't think it'd be too hard to do kind of like a very city core building kit, and I think that would just be so fantastic, just built up of like tall skyscraper type buildings and things like that. It would be great if we had characters from like the Big Hero 6 universe. I know people don't want Marvel in the game, but I'm very happy to have Marvel, and I would love Baymax in game. I think it would be so fantastic. So I'm definitely all for that. I think it would be absolutely fantastic. And it would just be nice to have something that feels a bit more built up than the sort of more town-like, small village type vibes of the biomes that we have currently. I just think that would be fun. Now, my next most wanted biome, I know a lot of you will groan at because you'll be like, hold on, haven't we got several of these? But I do want another fairy core biome. I know we kind of have fairy core in Ever After. So we did have that in the Storybook Vale DLC. And I know we're technically getting another fairy core biome in terms of Pixie Acres. However, neither of them are quite like what I want. The fairy core land of Ever After is just too purple for me. It needs to be more blue. If we're going to go into kind of like weird colors, I would want a blue fairy core biome just because of my personal preferences of favorite colors. But on the other hand, we have Pixie Acres, and it's just like a horrid green. I would love a fairy core biome that had more of a like foresty green vibe to it. I know we can very much fairy core our current valleys like the forest and the meadow and things like that, but I do want more quirky fairy core items just because that's my own personal taste and aesthetic. And I do feel like Pixie Acres, I just already feel it now. I'm not sure I'm sold on the colouring. I did try and point this out in a stream the other day. I was like, the colours give me the ick. I don't know why. It's just like such a weird green. It just feels a bit like repulsive. It's not a nice green. Like, I love a good forest green and stuff like that, or something with depth, and it just doesn't look good. Now, I'm willing to give Gameloft the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps upon its release, it will be cleaner, it will look better, but there's just something garish about it that I don't like. So I would like something that had real like mossy floor and stuff like that. Like that's kind of what I want. And lots of florals, lots of patchy florals would be really good. So yes, I know we have a lot of areas that could already be established as fairy core biomes, but I want more, okay? I just want more. And then for my last biome, I would love to see a water village. Now, I don't necessarily need an underwater biome. I have spoken about this before. I love the concept of an underwater biome. However, the way Disney Dreamlight Valley is currently designed, I don't know if that's possible. Like I've talked about it before, when you look at the water surfaces in Dreamlight Valley, when you look at the beach and stuff like that, they are very flat and they drop off a cliff. And when you glitch yourself under the world, you can see there's nothing there. Imagine if you transition from a beach into the underwater biome and you're just gonna look out from the underwater biome and see kind of like a void of nothing. You're gonna see the underside of the rest of the biomes that you're like got established onto this DLC world. I kind of fear how they would do it. I think an underwater realm would be perfect because there's that loading screen, and when you have that loading screen, you have that buffer, you have that ability to kind of transform and be in its own bubble space. I just don't know how we're going to transition from an underwater biome to a land space. That's my concern, is that kind of like switch in between. So I thought a good compromise would actually be a water village. You know, thinking of things like Venice. I know I should have looked up where specifically, but there are a lot of like Asian communities that are kind of like villages that are built out onto the water. They use like wooden structures and they build huts out into the water space and everything, because obviously there's a lot of smaller Asian islands and stuff like that. So I think if we look at kind of like inspiration in those areas, a water village could make sense. You know, we could have water that perhaps we can maybe walk on. I did mention how on Dazzle Beach there is that water bit that we can walk across. Like maybe we could have that where we can actually walk on the water, like it's shallow enough in certain areas to walk on, and then we have these deeper pools and stuff like that. And I would love that to just hopefully bring more water-based decor. One of the things that I dislike the most about Dazzle Beach is the fact that I don't feel like there's a lot of water decor I can use that looks aesthetic, that looks nice. We need way more water foliage than what we currently have. Way more water, like rocks or sculptures or just anything really. You know how we have decor for land? We have like these statues, and like, why can't we have things like that for the water? Like, why can't we have like a fountain that sits and comes out of the water and things like that? Like, I don't need it to be logical. This is a fantasy land. But I would just love a bit more water decor, to be honest. I think it would be so helpful to have. So that is absolutely up there on my list of most wanted. Anyway, that's going to do it from me today. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like. Feel free to leave your suggestions in the comment. What do you most want to see in Disney Dreamlight Valley? Is it a certain character? Is it a certain biome? Is it a certain companion? Like, let me know what you want to see. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more Disney Dreamlight Valley content. And I hope I get to see you all in the next one. Bye guys! A huge shout out to our super top members Spread Lake and Caroline Rose. Thank you so much for the additional support on my channel. It does mean so much to me. So thank you very much.